Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last. Mothers and fathers.
How can one's dad impact your relationships? This is Making It Last podcast. I'm your host, Noreen Daly, and with me this time around is my friend, Pat Gayle. And it's a good thing there's a camera in here. She's a nutritionist and a food instructor now at the high school level. Welcome, Pat.
Thank you, Miss Noreen. It is so nice to be here with you.
Now, just to give it a context, because a lot of times when people think that, they think it's all about when people want to lose weight, so then they go on a diet. But it's much more than that. So when we hear the term diet, what does it mean?
The thing is diet is such a broad term. And I wish, because let me even use myself as an example. Mm-hmm. I remember earlier this year when I decided I wanted to drop off the 60 pounds I had gained. Mm-hmm. And I did a lifestyle change.
Okay.
And my friends look at it that they'll ask me up to today, are you still on a diet? And I'm saying I was not on a diet. Mm-hmm. What I did was a lifestyle change. And they said, no, it is the same thing. And I said, no, when somebody go on a diet, that's exactly why they regain the weight. Because you will just get up today and said, okay, let me just lose 10 pounds to fit into this dress, or so I can go to this wedding, to impress my friends or your class reunion. So you end up now cut out so many things out of what you normally be eating just to drop this weight. That is you going on this whole yo-yo dieting thing. Okay. But when you do a lifestyle change, then you're going to drop that weight and you're going to maintain it. Okay. Because right now I've dropped 52 pounds and I've not gained back a pound. At the same time, to have started this whole thing, what I did was actually started where I would fast in the morning. So I'd wake in the morning and what I would do is just drink the bulk of my water, because I don't know if you realize you're supposed to have half your body weight in water. In water. You must have that because your body is made up of 70% water. So that's what you really should be putting back in there. But a lot of people end up just saying, okay, the doctor said I should drink 8 ounces of water. But then your size and the next person is not the same.
Same thing. Okay.
So what goes for them is not the same thing for you. So what I was doing was I was drinking half of my body weight in water. So every morning I get up, I was just doing maybe at the start 80 ounces of water or 60 ounces of water, as the case may be, depending on how much weight I dropped. And then by 10 o'clock, I would have a fruit. Following that, what I was doing was 40 days of protein and vegetables. Okay. And that was how I realized I start dropping the weight, because I was eating as natural as possible.
See, you're even getting some tips that you really didn't bank on. So in simplest terms, what is diet? The terminology diet. It's what?
It's pretty much how you eat.
Okay.
And everyone eats differently. How you eat and the way I eat is going to be different, because your likes and my likes are going to be different.
Are going to be different. Now, I know with my limited food knowledge that some foods impact you. Well, most foods, if not all foods, will impact your food, whether your mood, whether negatively or positive. So now we're going to then talk about some other the foods that would negatively impact your mood, because of course then your mood then impacts on your relationships. So some foods that quote unquote would impact on you negatively.
Sugar.
Okay.
Because if you realize again, and your doctors will tell you all the time, you need to actually, it's not like you're not using sugars, but it's the amount of it. And that on a whole, the way you eat, it's the amount of what you eat that causes a problem. And you're going to be high on sugar. It's just like a drug. Because have you ever watched a child who sits and eats a lot of candy all day? That child is not going to fall asleep very early at night. Because
very
that
high
sugar,
energy.
puts all that energy into you and you just can't calm down. So that sugar is going to affect your mood.
For somebody who's exercising, but even though I know I should avoid sugar, I have been told that I should have some amount of sugar.
Yes, because
So-
you do. And it's the same thing with salt. Your body actually need these in order to function. But again, just like portion size, even with your proteins,
Okay.
you just cut down on the amount that you're having. So for instance, as I said to some friends the other day, all right, it's Christmas time and you want your cake. Oh, come on. Nobody's going to tell you, especially like us in Jamaica. You want that fruit cake. You're accustomed to it. But that doesn't mean that every day you get up for the whole Christmas, you're going to be eating fruit cake. You're going to eat it morning, noon, and night. So if I have a piece of cake now, I might not need to have another piece of cake until Saturday night or Sunday I eat another piece of cake. It's not something you're going to have every day. And you're having candy. You have a candy now. You might have another piece maybe later on. Yes, you feel for something else sweet or a little ice cream. But it's not a continuous thing that you're going to keep putting in your system.
Okay. Anything else? I noticed without even hesitation, sugar is one of the first ones. So any other?
A lot of fried food. The oils again affect you. And it's not even a matter of oils, but we're supposed to put healthy oils in our system.
Okay.
So like your avocados, and we have a lot of that here in Jamaica. The same thing that they call pear.
Okay.
Those again are good oils.
Okay.
The ackee that you guys eat, or national dish, ackee is good. Again, you don't want to have it on an ongoing basis. But that, again, is good oils. Your nuts, your cashews, your peanuts. These, again, are good oils. The good old coconut oil is the best oil you can ever use. I remember before a lot of people would be telling people, you know, you got to stay away from it. But the coconut oil is wonderful. Your olive oil. So these are good oils that you can use. At the same time, just like anything else, you don't want to be frying your food on an ongoing basis.
Worst case scenario, that does what to you, or how does that impact on your mood?
Your cholesterol, you're gonna look, especially some people, you're not exercising where, again, your metabolic rate might be higher than some people where, yes, you're frying your food or you're eating a lot of sugar. You're gonna work it off.
Okay.
It's just gonna remain there and turn into fats. So you're gonna look at all of this sugar and all the carbs and everything. You keep putting too much of that in. It's gonna sit there and turn into fats, which is what you don't need, because heart attack is one of the things that's killing a lot of people right now. So we need to be eating in moderation. And as natural as you eat is what's gonna help you. So yes, if you're having the sugars, you're having the salt, you're having the fried food, but it would be nice if you counteract that with a lot of natural foods. This is Jamaica, and you have your fruit trees out there. A lot of people plant.
Hold on. Before we continue that, you covered, quote unquote, for want of a better term, I was saying some of the negative. Have you basically covered some of those then that can have a negative impact on your mood? Before we get to have you basically covered all of those?
Yeah, let's look. Let me see. I'm trying to figure out what else could I add, because the salt, the sugar, the sugar, and the oils.
Yeah,
is
the fried
normally
foods, right? And then you mentioned that even though you said that some of the oils would be bad for you, there are also some that are good. And you mentioned that. So I'm saying, have you then basically, in a nutshell, given us the quote unquote good foods?
The good foods, yes.
Yeah? Okay.
So you can use your good oils.
Okay.
And as I said, also add in with that your natural fruits and veggies.
Okay. So now we're on to the natural.
It's good to have those in their natural state, because one of the things that's messing with our society is people use too much processed foods. All the whole packaged things, the canned foods. You keep thinking these are good for you, but they are not. These are killers, because, again, most of these packaged foods and these canned foods, have you thought about what is preserving them? It's a lot of salt. A lot of sodium, again, is in these. That's what's preserving it. And that's what your body don't need that much of it. So eat as natural as possible. And you're going to realize the beauty with not just your skin, your hair, your mood changes, the energy that comes out. Because if you just decide, let me just try this for 1 week, where I'm eating food in its natural state, you're going to realize
be
that.
Be very specific with that for me, please.
For instance, you don't have to actually end up cooking your carrots. You can shred your carrots and shred your cabbage without adding any additives to them or putting them on the fire to change the color or anything of it. You just actually shred that carrot, shred that lettuce, get your cucumbers out of the ground, wash them, and just bite into that. The taste, I know, Noreen, I see your face because I know you're not a vegetable person. But if you just try these things, you realize. And the energy, if you just decide, let me try this for 2 days to just start eating food in its natural state. You get those nuts without salt. You know, have some of that. Just pick your fruits off the tree and start eating those just as they are. You don't need any syrup on them. You don't need to be dipping your fruits and veggies in a dip to enjoy it. You're going to realize after 2 days, not just that your bowel movement is going to be different, you're going to start feeling different. It makes a huge difference to how you look and feel.
What then are some of the quote unquote energy boosting foods? Because a lot of time people complain that they don't have a whole lot of energy. And of course, if you don't have energy, you only basically focus on the things that are immediate. And sometimes what is immediate then would be work and home. So then to find the time to connect with people who are outside of the home will require energy that you do not have or that you think you do not have. So what then would you classify some of the energy boosting foods to give you that little extra pep? And of course, all this is natural. So people not looking to the caffeine products and all of that to give
Again,
them that
let me
high.
go back to when I wanted to drop this weight and just did the whole lifestyle change. What I was doing was actually going to work with cutting up some apples. Well, you know, I don't live in Jamaica, so you understand now. I know the fruits that I can buy overseas. It's easier for me to get to these than if I was here in Jamaica, because I came back and realized that it is the hardest thing to even get an orange. I've not eaten an orange since I got here. It seems as if this is no longer the Jamaica I grew up in, where I could just walk into the backyard and pick an orange and grapefruit. But where I live, I'm able to go into the grocery store or to the flea market and get the food market and get some nice fruits. And what I would do is just cut up some fruits and walk with that. So I had that to eat, and with my fruits and my water and a handful of nuts. I didn't need any more energy food than that. That worked for me. And then what I did now, my lunch and my dinner, I had my complete protein with that. I know some people would be shocked right now that I'm no longer a vegetarian. And I don't think a lot of people want to hear what I have to say about that. But I realize most of the vegetarian food that people are eating are processed foods, and your body does not need it. What make up all that processed food? You go back to eating as natural as possible. Get that potato and use it to make the dishes that you want. You can make so many things with these same natural, your potatoes, your fruits, your veggies that you can eat instead of eating things out of these packages and these cans. And that was what I did. I went back to eating my chicken and fish. And then along with that, I eating out of the ground. So it's eating not just as natural, but as clean as possible. So you don't have to, a lot of people think, oh, you have to be a vegetarian in order for you to be able to survive and live a healthy lifestyle. But you don't have to be a vegetarian in order to do that. You can still be eating. Remember, the Lord put these foods on the earth. He did tell us what was clean and what was unclean. And if we are eating the way the Lord really designed for us to eat, you have no problem. You're going to realize you have all the energy that you need to have. Your mood is going to be great.
I'm sure you're going to want to hear the conclusion of this conversation, but you'll have to wait until next time. This is Noreen Daly with the Making It Last podcast. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.